Hello, my name is Haley. I'm here with Wild Hand, and today I'm going to be showing you how to weave in all of these ends. So you can see I have this swatch that I've started here with a hole from where I joined in yarn, and then I have these two ends from where I started and finished my swatch. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of all of this mess and have a nice, beautiful swatch at the end. You'll need a needle and some scissors, and we'll get straight into it. So for this hole where I joined in new yarn, I'm going to follow the path that the end is coming from and give it a little tug. I'm doing this so that I can even out my tension so that on the front it'll look as smooth as possible. So this one still looks puffy on that right side. I'm going to give the left side a tug, pull it back, and now you can see my tension is even throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle, and then from where this tail is coming from, I'm going to follow that path. So you can see it goes up and down, and then we need to go back up. This is where the yarn would have gone if it wasn't too short and I didn't have to add new yarn. So we're going to come up there, and that will close the hole that we had on the front. So from there, I'm going to go under these loops, kind of in a diagonal. Then I'm going to pull my needle through, and where I stopped, this loop right here, I'm going to follow it and come down the other side of it and do the same thing. Just put my needle in under these loops, pick them all up and pull. Then I'm going to give my swatch a little tug. This just evens out any tension in case I pulled the yarn through too tight. And then I'm going to snip my end off. So we've woven in the first end, we've closed up that hole, and now we're going to address the other side. So I'm going to give that one a tug. And because the hole is already closed, I'm just going to start weaving this one in. So I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to come down this time. I'm going to do the same thing, pick up all these loops. I find that if you do it diagonal versus going like straight down the loops, it just looks a little cleaner in the end, but it really doesn't matter too much which loops you pick up. So I'm going to turn around and come back up the other side and then pull my needle through. There we go. And then again, give the swatch a tug just to even everything out. And then I'll give it a snip. The tugging also makes sure that once you start wearing, whatever your project is, once that fabric starts to move around, the end that you trim stays where you trimmed it, because you kind of did the stretching and moving beforehand. So for this one, I'm going to thread the needle again, and we have this garter to begin the swatch. So I'm going to come under this first loop, and then I'm just going to skip over this garter section into the next loop. And then I'm going to start weaving in as we did on the other two. So this is where you can start to see where there's no specific science. You don't necessarily have to weave into every single row. You just want to make sure you go in two different directions so that the end stays in place. Because if you just go in one direction, it tends to slip loose a little easier. Weaving in two directions, I haven't had any problems personally. So again, thread my needle. On this side, I'm going to come up under this first loop right here. I'm going to skip over the garter and then come into the main section of the swatch and come up under these loops. I'm going to follow the path of the little bump and go down the other side. And there you have it. So again, a little tug, even everything out. You can see from the front, everything looks perfect. I'm going to give that last end a little snip, and there is our completed swatch. No hole, all the ends are woven in, the back looks nice and neat, and we're done. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can catch all of our future tutorials.